Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in Vampire the Requiem, or Requiem for London. It is another autumn night, veering on the edge of winter for the Londonian kindred. And not but a few nights after the last Elysium, it is announced there will be another. One held by the second keeper, a younger yet more conventional keeper by the name of Murph Caliborn. A gangrel of the Circle of the Crone, and a generally well-respected figure in the city, much like most court officials. The Elysium itself is being held within Kensington Rooftop Gardens. Much more becoming surrounding venue. What is it, Evan? Well, at least one of you is spook. The manner of invitation is much the same as the last Elysium. Although they aren't sent directly to our havens. They're sent through proxies. They're placed at drop-offs. It's gossip that travels through the harpies. It should be noted, not everybody has been invited to this Elysium. Some kindred have not. Some kindred who have angered the princedom have been rejected. But much like last Elysium, it's a fairly simple matter of getting in. But you see similar-looking guards and similar-looking uniforms. Carrying concealed weapons underneath long coats. With bulletproof vests and hair pieces, fairly well equipped, same as usual. And as you all enter, you all actually notice surveillance vehicles at the edge of the neighborhood as well. But other than that, the place just looks like Chelsea and Kensington. One side extremely affluent, glamorous, the dream. The other making do would be a charitable way to put it. Once you head up the lift, there are always guards in the lift. Usually just two. And it's a fairly large lift. You get a good view of the city. You've got many, many floors all the way up to the roof. And then you are witness to the very beautiful backdrop. A stately garden that rests on the roof of a skyrise. This is the woman who's here to greet you, or seems to be greeting people and looking over the place. You also all feel the same calming sensation that you felt in the last Elysiums.
My burning senses are tingling.
Well, this place seems to actively fight your burning senses.
Heresy?
Outside steps out of his limousine and with his suit and makes his way towards this woman, smiling. He will check his pistols with the guards.
Yep. Any weapons you have will be taken from you. Same as usual. It's a staple of Elysium.
Mhm. He will give that $1,000 smile and bow. Mm-mm. Good to see you.
Likewise, Mr. Hervo. Likewise.
Am I the first to arrive?
One of the first. Don't worry, I expected you.
It seems like this is a warmer state of events than previous nights. You have my thanks.
I thought the Kindred of London could do with a bit of cooling down, given the rather crowded nature of Elysium of a few nights ago.
That's quite an interesting choice. I feel as if some people weren't invited. As he just makes a quick cursory glance around the room.
Only for troublemakers.
Mm.
People like Night.
Well, I don't think we'll be having any of those issues this evening.
I
But
certainly wouldn't expect any of those issues from you.
of course not. And with that, he will gently kiss her hand and make his way in towards the room.
Yeah. You can make me a wits empathy roll on her remark there.
With empathy, oh boy. What is that? 4 successes.
3.
3. Okay. Yeah.
The way she says it's almost like a backhanded compliment, as in, I respect you enough that I trust you won't make trouble, but I also heard what happened a few nights ago.
Mm-hmm. Leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. You also notice her predatory aura is a bit more front and center than Alara Shades.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit more prominent despite the becoming feeling. She comes across as more predatory, less subtle. In a sense, it's almost like she's looking for a reason to do something.
Usually when people are like that, you can kind of taste their anxiousness in the air. Kind of permeates. But,
yeah, hers is less on her face, more in her beast.
Okay.
Yes, you see quite a few people at Elysium already. Let's see. You see this gentleman. You see this guy.
My friend.
This gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
This woman and this woman. This woman, you won't have to roll to know. She's quite prominent within the ranks of the Invictus.
Mm-hmm.
She's a neonate like you.
Mm-hmm.
Her name's Cynthia Gauntlet. She's a pretty big mover and shaker. Holds no official position, but she has pretty close ties to the ruling Invictus and your house. She's from House Eliza, though, not House Blacktoon.
Okay. He would give her the proper bow as he looks in her direction, out of respect. I would like 2 roles. One would be politics for the other people in the room, and the other is what type of environment is this? Is there
Okay.
like a piano or anything about?
Yep, go ahead and make those rolls. There is in fact a piano. You nailed it there.
Yeah.
Someone playing on it.
Oh, I was looking for it to be non-occupied, but
That's fine. You can always ask. They don't register as kindred.
he'll ask. But is that intelligence or wits, Chris?
It'd be intelligence politics. It's about memory and knowledge. And you're not under any pressure to figure out quickly.
Success.
So, out of a success, okay. Well, you know Sebastian. You ran into him once already. You haven't really heard much about him. He seems to be kind of a no-name. But he's not actively disrespected. He's just kind of another neonate with a loud voice. This is Hamal. He's a harpy. He's the second harpy. This person... his name is one second. I don't actually fuck up his name. His name is his name is Boway. He's a member of Invictus, but he's not part of a house. Don't know too much about him. He's a recent arrival. He's only been in the city for a few months. He has been given offers to join houses, but he has not joined any. This person is Gardenia. She's also a member of Invictus. Got a heavy Invictus turnout tonight. Also forgot to mention this guy. This guy's actually relevant. His name is Dracian Stanford. You've probably already heard of him. He is in fact present.
Everybody gets the customary bows and nods out of respect.
Dracian actually does not respond to... Sebastian kind of, is pretty derisive as he's not exactly a man of etiquette, doesn't really respond in kind. But Dracian actually does. He is very respectful to you. But I think with that we can move on to everybody else's entries.
Yeah, sure.
Also, whenever everybody when they enter also can roll wits awareness.
Yeah, why not? In that case, hang on. Am I bringing? Is the doctor coming on my arm again? We doing it again?
I suppose.
That's
I mean, if it isn't broken.
I was gonna say that's one success on the awareness roll.
Let me just roll the wits awareness roll and then get to the theme.
But where's awareness coming from?
It's not. Sorry, isn't it? Wits composure is our noticing things roll.
It is, matter of fact, what's composure.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's. Oh yeah, we don't have awareness.
Awareness isn't a thing.
I thought it was for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, no, composure is fine.
I know nothing.
You know nothing. Baneforth.
7.
I know many things.
See if you can get a 10 and then an 8. Make it happen. Come on, you can do it. I believe.
Nope.
Okay.
I still got 3 successes.
Wasted in you.
Damn.
You wasted your belief.
Get used to disappointment.
on a side note, because I don't care if we're live. No, I'll do that later. But he will. So yeah, he just walks. He walks on, and Doctor and Izzy will notice things.
I got 3 successes.
Someone's doing well at the piano.
That is a lot of piano.
There's a lot of piano. Okay, so you get 3 successes. Anybody else rolling? I don't think so. So everybody who succeeded, you noticed when you enter, something to note is that all of the flowers and the foliage in the
Foliage.
garden,
Flora?
flora, and foliage.
I was gonna say like what? We from Brooklyn here. We're gonna talk about foliage. Wait,
That's... Oh, God.
Yeah.
I will
Foliage,
be
or the foliage.
There you
Good
go.
foliage, yeah.
It's good foliage here. What are you talking about? Sorry.
That's fine.
All of the foliage. It is generally all pointing towards the pale moonlight, apart from when kindred pass by, when they begin, and then at which point they turn towards the kindred, almost reach out. They sort of, almost like the flora leans forward ever so slightly.
That's weird. That's super.
So Bishop. Oh, sorry.
There's so many things I want to roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know how some people dream about a magic garden where all of their dreams will come true? This is a magic garden. All of your nightmares live here.
Hooray!
What are you talking about? It's Elysium. Everything's fine.
I just really want to
Uh-huh.
roll biology.
No, we're about to get bullied.
I'm about to bully all over you.
He promised me punch and pie. Instead, I got bullied. Wait.
Is this the woman who greets us when we enter?
The one who greets you, yeah, the one on the screen right now. Is she's the keeper. She Gangrel, Circle of the Crone, Mirth Caliborn, Ansel.
Many blessings of the one true Church of Longinus be upon you. The dick is on the table.
Oh, I'm sure the blessings never cease.
Indeed.
Although I'm surprised
Such
to
a
hear them
wonderful
come
place.
from- Although I'm surprised to hear
sorry.
them come from Valankea.
Even those who do not necessarily know us are all the children of the one true God. We are all blessed, even if we do not see his blessings.
Oh, whether or not we are blessed is not in question. Although I'm curious, it's quite an interesting interpretation you've taken upon your faith. Usually I hear Lankea discussing how they are cursed.
I guess that is a matter of perspective.
Really? I must say I'm quite curious. Perhaps I will inquire with the local bishops.
Where
It
are
is
my
rare
manners?
to see a Lankea who considers themselves blessed, but it is a pleasure.
He smiles as he bows his head politely and he says, "A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Allow me to introduce myself and my dear companion. My name is Joshua Bainforth, and this is Dr. Isabella Mara."
She put her hand out to shake it. It's nice to meet you. Thank you for the invitation.
There is that moment of consideration when she looks at your hand, and you can tell she just considers whether she should shake it. The second just passes a little bit too slowly for it to be subtle, and then she will shake it. She has quite a strong grip. But it's slow.
Izzy smiles and just kind of doesn't give a whole lot away about what she thinks about that.
So, from where do you hail from?
Originally Philadelphia. Lately, have traveled a bit.
She does actually make that noise when you say that. I see. Then I suppose your membership is no great mystery.
Isn't it?
If I recall, Philadelphia is one of the capitals for the order. In Canada, it actually is. So Philadelphia is a huge nexus of order-drical activity.
That makes sense. Guess I didn't realize that was all that obvious, but I wasn't too involved in politics.
There's nothing wrong with being obvious.
Makes things easier, generally speaking.
It makes things simple.
There's enough in the world that is complicated without having to make things more complicated.
Something I wish more kindred would take on board. The flora is they haven't like grown unnaturally. Like they're not like growing to unnatural lengths. They just sort of strain themselves to the utmost of their length to reach you. They're almost touching you.
Plants are interesting. This you're doing?
Yes, I used to be a florist in life.
Can I tell what kind of plants they are?
Yeah, they seem to be natural plants in the sense that they're not alien. They don't look different from.
But are they vines?
No, they're all vines. Kind of draped across the entrance and around certain what do you call them? Like little alcoves, like the fencing that makes the alcoves.
So does it look like ivy, or is it a mix of different things? Sorry, I'm being a giant nerd. Is it like?
You probably know more about this than I do, to be honest. It is a healthy variety of flora. The diversity is actually quite impressive.
Okay, and does it look so they're just kind of turning, or does it look like it's actively growing?
Looks like it's moving towards you. Not like actually moving from its spot, like it's actually digging or anything, but like it's stuck in its place. The flowers and the ivy have just sort of turned towards you, kind of like how sunflowers follow the sun.
Right, yeah, but not this quickly.
Are following the kindred.
Yeah, I get that. Could I do like intelligence science to see if they're safe to touch?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna use this stupid amount of science points I put in. Or just any general information. That is 2 successes.
Okay.
Actually, what does the specialty get you?
I get you an extra dice.
Okay. Would biology count as an extra dice?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Unless I know, Anthony, whatever you're playing, I'm singing with you. Because you know what? Let's just be fancy.
Oh, so goddamn extra. I got 2 successes.
You wagered a safe to touch. Don't seem to have anything that would latch onto you, bite you, etc. Biologically speaking, at least on the surface level, they appear to be normal plants. You reckon if you opened them up, you would find some very interesting things.
I'm gonna steal one.
You reckon it's on the interior where they are different, where they seem to be fundamentally different. Because on the outside they appear to be just normal flowers, just unnaturally animated.
Mm-hmm.
And you reckon that animation isn't entirely natural.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in the biology of these flowers that would suggest that.
Right.
You're
So I'll
not
put.
entirely sure what, unless you were to examine one more in depth.
Mm-hmm. I know what I'm doing this party. I'm gonna put my hand out, like kind of towards one while I'm talking to her, and see what it does. Like almost like I would put it out for an animal to sniff.
Latches onto you, sorry. Kind of reaches out to you and latches onto you. Like one of the flowers that basically you kind of you touch the center of it, and the petals begin to curl around your finger.
How do you manage this?
It's a trade secret. She smiles.
It's fascinating. My own area of research deals mostly with animals.
Oh,
I'll admit I never found plants all that interesting, but I think you've changed my mind.
Well, in my eyes, flora has always made up the fundamental base of nature. To me, it was...
Oh, literally.
Always the most fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do know a fair bit about more active creatures. Probably not as much as you, though.
We'll have to compare notes sometimes.
She kind of looks amused by that statement. As something that she seems to find funny.
Is that another trade secret?
No. It's just something I find I do not wish to patronize, but something I think is very, very you.
What?
Looking to understand something in such a way. Very, very clinical.
Well, if we can't
Very
understand
academic.
what's going on, the more we understand about what's happening around us, the more interesting it becomes, generally.
But it's often not so material.
Perhaps, but everything can be explained by science if you break it down far enough. It's just a matter of finding it. Even us, even though it seems like it couldn't be explained, there's got to be an explanation for it somewhere. It's got to work under some fundamental principles, laws of science and nature. It's just a matter of finding that connection. Where would we be without laws?
The keeper sort of looks to Joshua, who is singing with Hervo, or who Hervo is just playing the piano.
He has expression. You can sing too. It's fine.
Yeah, you got full success. He's singing great. Not quite enough to kind of put the other pianist to shame, but well enough that you're doing a better job than he was.
Are we gonna have art? We're having art kid party and science kid party right now.
The keeper just kind of looks back to you and says, I will respectfully beg to differ on that.
You're entitled to your opinion. I don't let a disagreement on seeing the world necessarily impact my feelings about people. And kind of give Joshua a side glance.
Meanwhile, Natalia has just arrived. She's about as calm and collected as she normally is, which is not. She's just arrived. She's moving up. She'll have a look at the flowers. She doesn't pay them too much attention. She just looks around, sees everyone. Will greet the keeper. We'll go over, greet the keeper with as respectfully as you should. And she's pretty much gonna find a place to sit down for at least a little while.
You don't really have any trouble finding quiet places. This is quite a calm event. There's a lot of benches, a lot of alcoves that have been constructed for people to kind of sit down and have quiet discussions in.
Perfect.
And there's not too many people here yet, but people are starting to filter in. Muff will just say to Isabella, if you wish to learn more, we actually have quite a few in Walton Forest.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
She says, "We, if you want to learn more, you've got a few gardens in Walton Forest."
I would. I'd be interested to see how all this works.
She smiles at you in a way that's roll me with sympathy. If she had her fangs out, she would look predatory.
Ooh.
Okay. Do you have any? Actually,
One success.
Yeah, one success. She, the way she smiles at you, it's almost as if. I think the most accurate way to put it, it's as if she looks at you like a fly flying into a Venus flytrap.
Isabel kind of raise an eyebrow at her. Well, if nothing else, I think it would be enlightening.
Enlightening, yes, a much more accurate word. In any case, I hope you enjoy yourself, and I look forward to seeing you again.
You as well.
I enjoyed our little talk.
You'll have to come by the circus sometime.
That's what she leaves you with, just chuckling.
I'm in danger.
Yes.
That's fine.
Jasmine, you finally arrived.
Yeah, well, Jasmine is in her car. She's pretty fresh in all this vampire thing. So she's in her car, tapping her thumbs on the steering wheel, trying to decide whether or not she wants to go in. Trying to get the courage to go in, more like.
Okay. While you're waiting, you get a text.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a number you don't recognize.
Okay, what does the text say?
It says, "Hey, it's me. Why are you dawdling?"
She will reply, getting there. And after that, she will double check that all her weapons are in the glove compartment of the car, nothing on her, doesn't want to raise any suspicions, make sure that her clothes are ironed, and she will get out of the car and walk towards the entrance, trying to remain composed.
When you're in the lift, the elevator, you start getting more text from this number.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "I'll be here tonight. You probably won't see me though."
Was that I'll be here or I won't be here? I didn't hear
Will
you.
be here.
Okay, so they will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll reply, okay.
Doing some wet work. Could you do me a favor?
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Hmm? Sorry, I thought I heard my name. What?
No, it's just question marks. She, yeah. No, you get sent this this picture. Want to find out what this guy's deal is?
I'll reply, I'll do my best.
Reply is, do what you need to, but Dracian's here tonight, so don't fuck this up.
Copy.
You get a thumbs up.
I get anxiety.
As my cat do.
Yeah.
But when you do head up the left, you're already pretty anxious, or you would be if being in this. Yeah, you're perhaps nervous, but you're less emotionally animated. The effect this place seems to have on you is it's very calming. Once you kind of once you get into the building and you're going up the lift, it's a very calming sensation. You kind of it's almost like your beast has receded deep inside into your chest. Like you don't really sense its presence anymore. It's very calm. This place is serene.
Should I roll for wits composure?
You can roll me wits occult if you want to know what you're sort of undergoing.
I'm not there yet. I mean, in order to check out the room, see if I can observe anything. In
Okay.
that sense, yes.
Well, when you get out of the lift, there's a few people waiting inside with you. There's also a couple of guards. They seem heavily armed. One thing everybody does notice about the guards, I forgot to mention, on their left shoulders, they have like a patch or a badge, and that seems to have some sort of symbol for some sort of brand, some sort of company logo. But yeah, when you get out, Keeper is ready and waiting for all her new guests.
I'm assuming I have not met this person before.
No. How long have you been a kindred again?
Very fresh.
Okay, yeah, you haven't met this person before. But you can roll me what's politics.
It's politics.
Mhm. You want to
Well,
know people in social circles?
well, okay. So I guess I'll be rolling one die because I have nothing in politics.
Oh dear. Let me. Okay, let's see what you got. So you yeah, you do. Yeah, you're not reduced to a chance die. Thank God.
What?
You're not reduced to a chance die. You just roll the one die.
Ooh.
Oh, you got a 10. We can roll that again.
Okay.
It'd be really funny if you just got 3 10s.
Okay,
Nope.
so I get 1.
Okay, then you do know who this person is in passing. You know this is the Keeper of Elysium. They are your host. They are a significant power within the court. They're one of 2 keepers. This is Murph Caliborn. She is a member of the Circle of the Crone, and she is a gangrel.
Alright, so I will go and introduce myself as I should. Good evening. I am Jasmine Hardwick, and she will extend a hand towards the keeper.
Ah, yes. The new blood in the Carthians, from what I recall.
Yes, it's good to meet you, keeper.
Pleasure, Miss Hardwick. She really does just swim in the silence. She just keeps shaking your hand.
Yeah. Nice place you got here.
Yes, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, it's very nice and calming.
I thank you.
And she will smile uncomfortably.
It's quite intriguing to see just how few kindred acknowledge that.
Oh, well.
It takes a great deal of effort and work.
Smiling and nodding. It's surprising to hear. It's actually, yeah, very. You have nice plans.
Oh, you noticed. Thank you. Yes,
you're welcome.
I am. I'm a florist. Was when I was a mortal. Still am as a kindred.
That's
Put my blood, sweat, and tears into those.
literally.
Not necessarily so.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Just a way of expressing, I suppose. I'm sorry, I'm just a bit,
Anxious, nervous, lost,
well, yes,
overwhelmed.
sort of. I don't know many people yet.
Well, there's many to start with. You've been educated in the laws of Elysium, yes?
Yes, more or less. Yes.
More or less, she raises an eyebrow.
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Then I trust that you will uphold them.
Yes, as is my duty to do so.
Good. The Invictus don't do you enough credit.
Well, I will take your word for it. For now.
I hope you will.
But of course, I have no reason to doubt you, of course. Thank you for your hospitality.
Yes. Thank you for the 5 minutes entertainment. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. I plan to, yes. Thank you. And she will keep going towards the main room. Try to observe the people that are there. So yeah, let me roll for that because I didn't roll it before. See what I see, if I see anything, because Okay, 2. Three.
Okay, so what are you trying to do? Just like kind of get a beat on like who's around?
Yeah, get
Well,
an
see
idea.
this man? This is Dracian Stanford. He is the prime speaker for the Carthian movement. So in other words, he leads them.
So I definitely know that guy.
You know this guy. You might never have met him personally, although most Carthians have. You're just very new.
Yeah.
He is their leader. You definitely know him. He is the subject of a great deal of gossip, reverence, and controversy.
What's his name again?
Dracian Stanford. He runs the Hillingdon Parliamentary Party.
The fuck. Can you type it on the side so I can keep notes of that?
It's in the setting introduction. It's fine.
Okay.
There's also this man here. His name is you'll know this guy. He's a harpy. He gets around. His name's Hamal. He's an Invictus gangrel. Unite. And,
So many fucking gangrel.
Yeah. Well, and you've I'll say to be nice. You've also met this man, Sebastian Yord. He's a Dava neonate. Not really that relevant in the scene, but he has a bit of respect amongst the Carthians. Not much, but some. About as much as you, really. Maybe a bit more. Everybody else, you don't really know about, including these 3 people.
Yeah, but I do see the guy that I was sent a picture of.
Yeah, you recognize this guy by face. You still don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. I just know that I'm supposed to check him out or something.
You've been asked to acquire information on him.
Yeah.
But before all that, as the display from Harvo and Joshua comes to an end, Himal is just clapping. Bravo! An excellent performance.
He smiles, takes a bow. Thank you, Joshua.
I like to think by the end of it, Joshua was sitting on top of the piano because he's that whore.
There was no
better-
doubt in my mind that was happening.
He better had a sultry smile and a cocktail dress on.
I mean, no, but he does have a martini in one hand, if that helps.
Okay, that I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I can see why your clan chose you, Joshua. You are you certainly know how to handle fun moments.
He smiles as he hops down from the piano, and he drains. By the way, I'll spend the requisite blood to activate Blush of Health, so I can eat and drink. But he'll drain the last of the martini before handing it off to a waiter or one of the staff, and he'll say, well, when there was such beautiful music, I was simply inspired. After all, what can I say? We don't have enough artistic endeavor nowadays, I feel. The youth of today are more interested in their, I don't know, what are the youth interested in today? Their rap music, their I don't know, their Tupacs and their TikToks and their etc.
Oh dear, and here I thought Amber was a hobby.
Oof. What?
Dear God.
I thought you would have taught you better. Never mind. I shall gladly take on this burden of rap music and boppets.
Oh my god, now you've got me on the topic of boppets. Oh my god, do you guys remember boppets? I remember boppets. Bop it, twist it, shake it. Sorry, god damn it.
Yes.
Anyway,
I may have a group puppet.
Yes. Quite the scene to get comfy to. And you, Mr. Hubble,
This is
I didn't know you played the piano.
It's a talent. When I was immortal, it was something that was done to, I guess, finish me around. Finishing school for boys, if you will. Boarding school. More worldly, as my dad would say.
You an Eden boy, or are you from elsewhere?
No, I'm from here. London, born and raised.
I see. Oh. I suppose waste not.
So how do you find this Elysium? Interesting?
Quite so. Muff has put on a wonderful display. I do like clubs, but they're more ambre scene, not mine. It's a bit too hot and heavy. Not that I mind every now and then, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we could use a cool night breeze and some serene piano music.
It sets a tone that this is a very genteel evening.
Yes.
I can appreciate it.
Some class is always appreciated. It's kind of ironic, really. You would expect Miss Shade to be the one of all the class, but it is Murph who runs the these more upper crust, these finer, more elegant Elysiums. Yeah, no disrespect to Miss Shade, but it's a different type of appeal.
Miss Shade is a very interesting woman. And then there's just a smile.
Yeah, he's got a roll with sympathy. He's definitely got a roll with sympathy now. He's like, oh boy. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, he gets an exceptional success. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
So you get
you can roll against it if you want. You can roll to hide it.
No point. It doesn't matter
Okay.
to me. You can definitely tell that there is a definite feeling of respect, but there's also a definite, the way he said interesting is more as if where people are forced to say something positive even if they don't feel that way.
It's like,
I
yeah, he's
buy
such a nice guy. I fucking hate this bitch. Uh, yes, she
Pretty much,
certainly is.
pretty much how our friendship goes, Bishop. Yes.
I can't outwardly say fuck this bitch, but I can.
She
But
certainly is, in fact, a kindred, one might say.
exactly.
Yes. Fascinating. Well, I did hear from Ambre, yes, there was that little incident.
Hmm.
So, well, it is strange, though. You finding Invictus domain satiating, or was it just enough night for you?
It seems that word does get around.
I mean, I would not be doing my job if I was not hunting down the good word, no?
The second appreciate it was something that the dear keeper of Elysium didn't pay much credence to. Dare I say that it was a tertiary concern.
Oh, that is a shame to hear.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, it's very sad.
But you know, being a resilient Invictus that I am, I was able to rise to the challenge.
As
A
you do. I would expect nothing less from you.
gentle push in the right direction. No animosity.
By the way, sorry, Bishop. What is this Harpy's name again? Because I know he's a Harpy, but I don't know. I can't remember his name.
He just goes by the alias Himal. His gangrel.
Amal.
Himal.
Um,
Himal.
Having met him, I wonder what is Omar Shadid in London. He exists. I can sense him.
Somewhere. The prince was Omar Shadid the whole time.
Joshua has taken another. He has another drink in his hand at this point, and he says, "I'm curious, Mom. Can you furnish me with some gossip if you possess it?" I was wondering about a young lady who goes by the name of. Oh, what was it again? Eileen Spillane?
Oh, okay. Lady Spillane. What's got the good chorister interested, if I may ask?
Well, she appears to be attempting to do some genuine good in the inner city. However, she appears to be doing or attempting to push a lot of good in the inner city, and I'm curious how altruistic her motives are and how connected to us her motives are.
Well, I can tell you that Lady Spillane is a kindred in quite respected among our particular ranks. He kind of points back and forth between himself and her, though. Quite young, but very can do. Very has a lot of gusto, and has the skill and the assets to back it up, as we can clearly see from the news. If you want to meet her, I can see if I can get you a number so you two can correspond. She's actually looking for people who have a can-do mindset and a will to work some wonders around the city, and who to work miracles if not one of Alanka, no?
If you could acquire me that number, I would be very grateful.
I'll look into it for you. She's quite new to the city, just recently arrived. Is very busy putting all the pieces into place, I'm sure you understand. But I'll see what I can do. She's you can from what I recall, she had quite a sire back in London. Yes, can't quite recall though. You can roll me with sympathy on that.
Oh boy, eavesdropping.
Oh boy! So that's wow. My dash roll for this is absolute cack. But what are you gonna do?
I should roll here instead of in normal chat. Okay.
It's success.
Yeah. You have to beat. I can either make it so that you either. So I think what I'm gonna do is actually, yeah, we'll make these contested rolls. So I've been figuring out how to do this, and I think it's just the best way to do it. Just make it contested rolls. Yeah, because it's not resisted, it's contested. So yeah, as long if you beat 2 successes, I can tell you.
He does.
You what? Where? I see 9, 3, 2, 1, and 8, 10, 2. Oh, another 10.
Oh boy.
Roll again, baby. Wow. Okay.
4
Nice.
successes total to read them over.
Almost 5.
Almost.
He definitely recalls. He absolutely recalls. He's just not telling you for some reason.
Very, very, very politely, Joshua puts his arm on his shoulder and he'll say, I tell you what, you're a man who I assume has fingers in many interesting pies. So, if you would like to enlighten me as to whom the thing he's holding back on was who her sire was, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you could enlighten me as to the identity of this young lady's sire, shall we say, I'd be more than happy to give you a payment of... It's black rent to just do them a favor, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, black rent is a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Blood rent is literally giving them your blood.
I'd be happy to give you a use of... I'd be happy to owe you black rent. A single usage.
He kind of considers this for a moment. It's kind of weird. Unlike Ombre, who seemed much more casual about her business dealings, he seems to be considering this very, very carefully. It's not immediately apparent why. You know what? We'll call it a deal.
He will shake his hand. A deal fair struck.
Yes, yes, indeed. You can roll me wits empathy on this if you want. He won't contest you. This is just something to kind of notice by the way he acts.
I see nothing.
I see nothing. I am like the snow. Yeah, no, he just seems very satisfied with your arrangement with him. And he brings out a little black book and writes it down.
Is this to assume I'm getting a PM?
Yes, you'll get a PM. I'll
Okay.
get through all the relevant details. It's quite juicy. You might even be able to make use of it if you're smart.
Also, I assume in telling me who her sire was, he'll also tell me what clan she is, because that's not come up.
Yes.
Cool.
He
He nods.
you'll basically he'll hand you a document of all the relevant information after the scene.
Cool. He will smile and he'll turn and he'll walk back to the piano and he'll kind of lean next to. How do you pronounce your character's name, Anthony?
Outside.
Alset. Okay. He'll lean next to him as he sips his drink casually, and he'll say, "We meet the most interesting people."
It's a thing, all right.
By the way, Bishop, because the last one he purposely didn't, is the prince showing up to this Elysium?
No. Prince has
Damn
not
those
made any
secretive
announcements.
maquettes.
My cat!
May I ask a question, my friend? He says, still talking to you, Anthony. I was curious because this was not public knowledge to myself, but I'm wondering if the Invictus, if it is public knowledge to you, it's since become more public since it was announced. Were you aware of the existence of the Shard?
Also, roll me wits politics. This is something of it's a bit of an open secret. So yeah, you can just roll standard. There'll be no penalties. Okay. Just gonna assume you don't get You've definitely heard of the Shard. It's a bit of an open secret in the city. It makes the rounds of gossip every now and then, although the Harpies aren't the ones talking about it. The Harpies very rarely talk about it. You know that the Shard is basically is an Invictus-built prison facility meant to house and contain kindred. The location of it is not known to almost anyone. You assume it's probably known to the upper echelons of the court, but outside of that, probably nobody else. It's a subject of a lot of controversy, obviously, because it's effectively a black site where the kindred that are imprisoned can be held with no accountability towards anyone who actually runs the place. And many see it's just like a sort of place where kindred are sent to disappear. Although kindred have sometimes re-emerged from it rehabilitated.
In inverted commas, giant air quotes, rehabilitated.
I feel like the air quotes come with everything I'm ever going to say about kindred, so you can just assume those. But it has surprising support, mainly based on the fact that the alternatives are just blood bonding or killing those kindred anyway. So an actual prison system is shady as it comes across. To some more moderate kindred, particularly those who don't believe they'll ever be sent there, viewed as a sort of surprisingly progressive idea, despite all the negative connotations.
He continues playing on the piano. I've heard.
Himal takes a sudden exit when the Shard is mentioned. Who is that over there? He looks towards Natalia and begins wandering towards her, but continue conversation.
Interesting. As I said, we hadn't heard about its existence until a couple of nights ago.
At this point, I'd wander back over to you guys.
Okay.
Wonder. We found the denizens in the sewers. I don't know if you heard.
Okay.
He kind of looks at Izzy as she approaches. They were a group of... What was the correct term?
Revenants.
And the Nosferatu Archon, whose name Evan can't remember. What's his name, Bishop?
The Archon, Mort Kozlova.
No. Archon Kozlova took them to this place, so I hope that everything is fine. They're being kept there until such point as we can hunt down the individual who made them, who's still in the sewers.
It's one of those institutions that is, keep it under your hat, it's a kinder fate than the alternative.
Depends on what the alternative is.
The
Yeah.
alternative is we don't speak about that.
Understandable. They were hardly living any sort of life as it was.
I
Hopefully they
assume
can.
that at least. Oh, sorry. You continue.
No, say hopefully, in the end, we can find a way to use everybody to everybody's advantage.
One would hope.
Mhm.
I would like to make a manipulation subterfuge to hide his actual opinions about it.
Mhm.
3 successes.
Oh, there we go. I'm back.
I know nothing.
You know nothing.
Seems legit.
You're referring to the revenants. I'm intrigued. What brings you up that line of conversation? I rarely hear them mentioned in civilized circles, particularly not places like these.
It's one of those.
Who dat?
Allow me to.
Isabella,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Isabella, actually, everybody, you can. The three of
I
you
was
can
just
roll
going to introduce them. And
Yeah.
you weren't polite about it.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. I'm just going to give this one to you, just because I'm not going to have you roll Wits Politics for literally everyone, just when I want you to. And also, you've rolled Wits Politics like 3 times. Joshua and Harvo, you haven't seen or heard of this person before. Isabella, you actually have, because they're a member of your covenant.
I was totally looking for a person like this.
Yeah, her name is, one second. God damn it. I had a name, but I lost it. I feel bad. Oh, here we go. Her name is Meadow Thatcher.
Her name is Meadow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's all right, kids. We're gonna go plow the meadow.
Allow me to introduce you, Joshua. And what was your character's name again, Terry?
Isabella?
Isabella. This is Miss Meta.
Oh, you haven't heard of this person outside. Isabella has.
You asked me to roll for it earlier. I baited.
Oh, I didn't have this person on camera.
You literally.
This is new.
Okay.
This is a new person. I just put them up on my minicam.
I think you bully me, but okay.
That's why I know, because I just put them up on the minicam.
I
They
feel so
weren't
targeted by
like
this. It's like every scene I'm getting.
How important is this personage?
Um,
I'm wondering if I could be like, or I should actually be respectful.
you haven't met them before. Isabella, you know she's fairly well respected in the Ordo. She hasn't mastered her core yet, but she's making pretty firm progress on it. She's eventually neonate. You know what coil she's on. I'll actually PM it to you, because that's actually classified information.
Classified information.
There we go. There you go.
I'm back, sorry.
She's also a part of your particular aspect of the Sworn.
Hey. I missed part of it. What do I know about her? Just that, do I know anything besides that she's...
She's on that particular call. She's a venture neonate, a member of the Order Jakul.
And we've met before? Or I just know who she is?
She's quite, she's quite, how to say, Let's just say she's very keen to take control of a situation or a conversation.
Noted.
But she
What
is
was
a
your last-
very, she's kind of one of the up and comers in your covenant.
Gotcha. Noted.
We are all the wolves of God, Miss Meadow. Ultimately, even those that are broken.
Don't start.
Ah, yes, God.
Sorry, have we met? Have I actually met her, or do I just know who she is?
No, you've met her before.
Okay.
She says, "Ah, yes, God, the world's most popular absentee parent."
Need somebody to blame. It's good to see you again.
Ah, good to see
I
you
would say
again.
I would say just because you cannot see a hand does not mean the hand is not there.
Oh, yes, the maquette, keen to remind us of this. Although, I find it is the maquette playing God, and the auto playing God, and everybody else chasing its shadows.
I see. So what you're saying is you would rather hold to the words of a single individual who killed some Turks a couple of 100 years ago compared to the word of the Almighty.
At this point,
unlike,
Natalia is actually listening to this. She's just standing there looking at this with a smile on her face.
Unlike the so-called dog, she always says dog. God, we can actually verify the existence and the achievements of our patron. Also, one we don't worship as an actual god because we are not fools. We do not grovel like children looking for guidance. We find that ourselves.
Ah, I see. So you would rather walk merrily along a road thinking that you are the master of the road than marvel at the road for what it is because each brick was put in place for you to walk on.
I would rather understand the nature of the road. Therefore, I can better anticipate what's to come next.
Yes, I seek to become the master of my fate. I do not necessarily believe myself to be the master in that point in time. That is the journey that we undergo as individuals.
I must say I enjoy spirited debate.
Keeps things interesting. But in any case, I don't know if you'd
find it
heard.
rather boring. It's not like I've had this conversation a dozen times.
Welcome to immortality. It can get repetitive.
Yes, so I have noticed. But yes, revenants. Oh, actually, that's important to know, Isabella. You understand that because of her coil, Meadow considers herself an expert on the topic of revenants.
Oh, I don't know if rumors of our latest escapades had gotten back to you. I've been meaning to bring it up with the order.
Oh, and please tell me. I haven't really been keeping up. I've been stowed away in my laboratory.
Working on anything interesting?
Some very, very interesting things. But it's something I'll discuss with you later, but please, your escapades, if it involves these poor half-bloods, I'm quite interested to hear about it.
Well, we managed to locate them. There were some loose in the city. It's my belief that somebody is making them, whether it's on purpose or by accident.
Ah. Those killings on Vitelli, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes, I do love a bloody good murder. So they were the ones responsible, scouring about in the sewers that the Nosferatu make their home.
It would seem.
And you found him, yes? I assume as such. You're discussing it now, or are you coming up with a plan?
Oh, no. It's already taken care of.
Ah. Disappointing. I was hoping I could join you. Maybe we could have caught one.
Maybe next time.
We already had more than enough help from your order on that particular little escapade. One of your membership blundered his way into something he didn't understand and continuously nipped at our heels,
Don't blame us for
followed like a
him.
dog.
Oh, he sounds. From the way you speak of him, it sounds like he gave you trouble. She smiles.
Insofar as a small dog annoys the man who stands, perhaps.
She looks at you in a strangely patronizing fashion.
I will look back at her in my best. I am a priest talking to a penitent.
So these poor revenants, I assume you wish to shepherd them. Yes. Or did you intend to bring them in for them to see justice under the auspices of the court of this illustrious princedom?
Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, these individuals were requested to serve at the prince's leisure in his prison. We wished to do what we wished to do with their personages, but the prince's will is paramount, and we do not
Right.
question it.
In other words, you were told and you obeyed.
Just as we all would.
Of course, do not misunderstand. I do not intend to insult you. She's insulting you. It is just such a shame. I wish I could have been there. Seen one for myself, maybe even convinced the representative of Princeton to perhaps rent one out to me. Now I have to
There may be a way.
One. Yes, it is. I'm disappointed, Isabella. I'd hoped you would have brought one back.
Well, that's what I meant to talk to you about. As it seems, the prince has said, or his representative has said, that if one will vouch for them, once this whole situation is cleared up, once the one in the sewer that's making them is found, if one is willing to vouch for them and be willing to take responsibility for them, they could be a way could be found to bring them into one of our folds, which is what I'd hoped to speak to the order about.
Magnificent. Hamal, I wish to purchase a revenant. What?
We're not buying them.
Well, I definitely intend to buy them. Look at it this way: it's one way of getting them out of that, getting them out of their cell.
I mean, I suppose I just don't know if they'd be willing to part with them until after the one that made them is found. Apparently, there's some sort of a connection between.
Perhaps.
And you know more about the subject than I do, but I'm sure they would be interested in perhaps us assisting in finding that person. It's
yes, revenants are
difficult.
known for their unnatural connections to their accidental sires, unnatural even by our standards.
Indeed. My talent doesn't really lie in wading through the politics of it all, but I do know that if you swim partially with the current, you're much more likely to get to where you're going.
Ultimately, the Archons are going to attempt to use these individuals as their hunting dogs to find the sire.
As they should. It would be the most reliable way to track them down.
Bishop, is there any way for one vampire to determine another vampire's humanity score? Because I've got a theory she's on like 2.
I mean, science.
Generally, kindred actually look less human. If you want to look like a Nosferatu, the best way to do that is to drop to humanity 2. 2 or 1, to the point where people just run from you on sight. She's not that far gone, but she does look a bit. She does have pale skin. A lot of neonates have pale skin, where they don't have quite the same color they used to. Where it's still a sign that they're relatively humane, but they've also settled into their requiem a bit. She's a little bit more hollowed out. She looks ever so slightly more of a part of a corpse. Must I say, though, I know I'm going off topic when I've tried to drag us back on, but you do look rather fetching, Mr. Herbo. I'm quite impressed. You must tell me where you got that cut from. Yes, you can eavesdrop, by the way, Josh. Hello, outside. You're muted.
Hello?
Oh, he's BRB, that's why.
Yeah.
He's probably like, oh yes, look, I'm outside, Herbo, look at my fancy suit.
Taking selfies, it's fine.
Very casually, because I've decided to be a cunt and it amuses me. Joshua he's leaning on his cane whilst he's sipping the martini. He just the head just turns to the person who is clearly listening in on their conversation but not actually participating in their conversation, and he's just like, oh yes, are we saying anything that is truly interesting to you?
I'd say we make a wits composure to check that first. But other than that, it's fine.
I'm in it.
Unless they're just being obvious of eavesdropping.
Who is this
I
person
see
who's
most of the
talking?
things.
Is it Anthony
Alright,
or
what's
me?
this?
It's
Anyone
no,
listening?
it's the new one who we don't know. We're just apparently listening in. It's in the side chat.
Ah, okay.
Well, I didn't receive a reply, so I don't know if I am.
I literally stated it to you in voice chat.
Mm,
Basically,
Yeah.
roll wits composure to listen in, and then
Okay,
Joshua,
wait.
you can roll wits composure to witness the person eavesdropping. If you
Okay,
like.
what do I roll?
Wits plus composure.
Okay. I got one.
Okay, then you get the gist of most of their conversation. You don't understand. You kind of miss the finer points, but you understand most of it.
I hear most of it. I don't understand most of it.
There's all this talk about revenants and
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
connections to sires, and the fuck is that? Sounds like creepy bloodsucker talk. But then you are surrounded by them. But yeah,
I have 4 successes to notice the eavesdropper.
Oh yeah.
To
This
make my
person's
comment.
totally listening in on you.
I'm back. I apologize.
No problem.
We're all staring at you
Miss
awkwardly.
Thatcher Miss Thatcher was just praising your fancy suit and asking you where you got the cut.
I have a personal tailor.
There.
I can give you the card if you'd like.
Oh no, I would be very fascinated. Thank you.
Hands over the card.
So, to reiterate, Joshua will turn ever so slightly to the eavesdropper and he will say, have we said anything that you find entirely interesting whilst you've been listening in on our conversation?
Pardon?
Kinda playfully slaps Joshua on his wrist. No.
I'll play dumb.
Okay.
I was just looking for anyone I know, actually, but
Don't let him get to you. What's the point of going to a party if you're not going to eavesdrop? Put my hand out. Isabella.
I would argue that if you're going to eavesdrop, you should at least be better at it.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, I'm Jazz. And she'll take Isabella's hand and shake it.
You seem new here.
I have not met you before, young lady.
Yeah, it seems to be a common theme lately.
So your name is Jazz, but more importantly, what is your clan and covenant?
Just throwing that right out there.
Oh, well, I am a maquette of the Carthian.
Are you sure, as you have been spotted eavesdropping? Are you certain you are not, in fact, a Deva?
Oh shit.
I'm certain I wasn't
Quiet.
eavesdropping.
I choose to point out that we don't eavesdrop, my dear. We make the conversation.
Ugh.
I mean,
I'm
he's not
curious. Like,
I'm as amused
you-
as I
can you
am
ever shut that-
disgusted. Isabella, your retort is appropriate.
can you
Which
shut
one?
that off? Like, or do you always talk like that? Joshua, like, is it like a thing, like you just have to, like a mental tick, or what? I'm curious.
Joshua does that wonderful thing where you look down your nose at someone, like directly down your nose, and he says, "Speech is an interesting thing, isn't it? It binds us together and it pulls us apart. I'm merely interested in both sides of that coin."
You can only speak like that. It's a mental thing. Okay, got it. And Natalia will just walk.
That is politics, my dear. It is the art of saying nothing while speaking a lot.
As a sound can be heard, it's almost like you can hear the sound of someone rolling their eyes really, really fucking hard. Natalia will begin to approach the speaker of the Carthian movement.
Oh shit, okay. He is just talking with this lady, funnily enough.
Everybody brought the salt tonight.
Yeah, I mean it's an Elysium, like it's a gathering of kindred. There shall be no shortage of the salt.
I was gonna say they exist, just assault each other. That's how life works.
Salt is a preservative. That's why the older you are, the saltier you get.
And she's just gonna go up and she's gonna introduce herself.
Just speaking with the keeper briefly, but he says, "Ah, yes, may I help you, young lady?"
Well, I just don't think we've met, and I just, thought it proper to introduce myself.
Well, I am Dracian Stanford. It is an absolute pleasure to meet you.
Likewise, Natalia Belenko.
Boo!
Kind
Give
of-
us more of the Guillotine Society. Boo!
There are, I mean, Sebastian's in the scene. It's fine. He kind of, his eyes kind of squint upwards a bit, as if he's recalling something. He says, "Ah, yes, I have heard of you."
She genuinely looks a bit surprised at that. She just looks at him and goes,
do not be concerned. It is merely word that passes around town.
I see.
A lot
I'm
of
getting
men
honestly, I'm getting a little tired of the word being that fast, but okay.
It is a strange paradox. It is a city where many secrets are held, yet when the word is out, it spreads like a wildfire. It is, I suppose that is what happens when you suffocate the free flow of information. Any way it can find its way to the surface. It will go as fast as it can.
Yeah, I suppose it will.
It is the chief flaw of the princedom in this city, I find.
Well, it's Natalia just stands there, and he could probably tell that she wants to speak with him. She wants to ask him maybe more than one thing, but she just stands there, looks at him, looks down at the floor, and looks at him again, and then she will just say, "I'm really sorry to bother you, but yeah, it's just introductions getting out of the way."
It
She
is
smiles.
absolutely no problem. You look as if you have questions. Please ask. I'm an open book.
Oh no, it's really not no. It's fine. It's really nothing to waste your time with. She will just
Please, I'm in Elysium. Time exists to be wasted here.
It's a good way to put it, honestly.
We have plenty of time. And, well, we're all here to talk. Why not have an honest discussion? Better than the alternatives, I can see. He kind of looks with a sort of mischievous smile to the other groups, including the one where the rest of you are at. It's kind of in jest. It's not really meant as a serious jab. He seems very genuine in his words.
Mm. There will also be a genuine smile on her face, and she will say, "Well, you know how it is about. Well, you just said it, Elysium. Rumors spreading really fast."
Well, rumors all the city has, unfortunately. Facts are hard to get a hold of. Again, due
Quite.
to Princeton's obsession with controlling its own narrative. It would be hard to discern when one is chasing shadows and when one is staring reality in the face. I find it does the kindred here a disservice.
She will say somewhat quietly, "I agree with you on that." And then she will just say, "Have a good evening." And she will walk over to a corner, or she'll walk closer to the others again.
Looking at both Joshua and Isabella, and the good Meadow, I have to do my due service to the acquired members of my order. But this has been fun. We should do it again.
Indeed.
We would be delighted to host you some evening if you wanted an evening's entertainment.
Fabulous. I like your circus. It should be a nice reprieve for one night. Should I bring anything?
He contemplates for a few moments and he says, "Whatever you want."
Bring a friend.
We'll see what I can do.
Yes, your circus would make a delightful departure from things of importance.
Well, that's fighting words.
I would like to what's the word? Discreetly sleep away.
You can do that as Meadow just continues.
Hey, Bishop, I'm gonna roll some dice.
I do enjoy moments of entertainment as much as many believe otherwise.
I actually get most of my good research done at the circus.
It's very important to maintain.
Well, now you have my attention. Oh, sorry, Mr.
Okay.
Hello.
It's very important to maintain good and cordial formalities with members of the court.
Absolutely.
Lest they
Is there a frenzy being rolled? I'm just curious.
No, I'm rolling magic. I'm doing something.
Oh Lord.
Are you going to commit to... Okay, remember, you're in Elysium.
It's
Oh no,
gonna
I mean
be,
I'm doing stage magic.
it's gonna be stage magic. It's gonna be
Gonna be stage
ridiculous.
I'm doing literally some extra. I'm so tempted to basically put a kick me sign on her back. You have no idea. Just something entirely petty. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I know exactly what I'm gonna do. She can happily put. Let me just see.
Joshua's
Yep,
so
I get-
mad.
You spent what?
He smiles nonchalantly. He smiles nonchalantly as he looks at Miss Meadow and he says, "You are absolutely welcome to be our guest. 2 tickets are located in your inside breast pocket."
And on that, he dismisses himself. Not gonna be around for that.
I've limited myself with Joshua's stage magic to things I've seen magicians do, and I have seen them put things in people's pockets from like not even from standing on the other side of the room. I have no idea how they do it, but by God, they do.
In this case, it's just a sleight of hand. It's a fairly simple
Mhm.
trick.
I assume you've put tickets in everybody's pocket by this point.
Actually, you know what? With the exceptional success, can I have everyone in the conversation get 2 tickets, Bishop?
Sure. Apart from Jasmine, as she's actually walking away and wouldn't be within range.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it would be that particularly hard to sleight of hands to slip tickets in everybody's pocket strategically throughout the evening.
But yeah, no. So that's what he says to Meadow, just smiling at her with that kind of shit-eating grin.
Question: have I spotted Natalia?
Yes.
You would have. She's walked across the room, so you would have noticed her at some point.
Okay, yes, I will pretend I haven't, but I will be at a place where she can clearly see me, and I will be kinda checking out the dude.
What guy? Like the
The guy from the
that guy?
picture.
Yeah.
Like not in a well discreet manner, but like I'm interested in fucking him, not interested in learning about him. I can roll about it if you want.
I feel like that's
I love
definitely a manipulation. That's a composure subterfuge check.
Okay, composer subterfuge. Oh my fucking
So
god!
it's,
Why?
Fucking
to
aside,
give an impression that
Yes.
you're attracted to the guy rather than you're looking to.
Okay. I'm
What does
going
this guy
to. I think I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Wait, who are you
Okay.
trying to fuck?
I'm not trying to fuck anyone. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm interested in fucking that guy. So, willpower adds 3 dice, right?
hmm
Okay. Oof.
Who are we fucking?
Guys, don't
Who's
fuck-
fucking? Is everyone fucking?
Are we fucking?
no.
Not
Okay,
today.
okay. 2 successes, and I have to roll the 10.
Pardon?
Do I have to roll
Uh,
the 10?
Yeah, you roll another dice because you got a 10. Whenever you get a 10, you roll another dice.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 3.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Natalia can roll wits empathy if she wants. Needs to beat 3 successes.
I'm probably gonna fail this hard. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. He's like looking at this well-built Asian bloke.
I kind of
Also,
want
do
to purposely
anybody-
fail
I-
this to
with
make it worse.
starstruck eyes.
Kind of want to fail this and make it worse.
Roll to make it worse.
You can always opt to take a dramatic failure, but something bad will happen to you, not necessarily other people.
No, I know. I don't care about bad things happening to me. I just kind of want to do it because this is just hilarious. It just failed purposely.
I was going to say, low-key, for the rest of us in the room, do we have any idea who this poor, unfortunate Asian person who you keep flaunting on the screen is?
No, none of you. I'll side. I think you already know. I think I already told you.
Mhm.
Natalia can roll with politics because he isn't often seen face. The rest of you can't because he's not a member of the Covenant.
I will take
Eh.
a dramatic
Never-
failure.
never- Oh, you'll take a dramatic failure. Okay, you're that guy's a straight hardcore guillotine idealist.
Okay.
Oof.
And you are 100% certain. You're 100% certain. Nothing could possibly sway your mind.
Oof.
That guy, you're surprised that guy's even here because the last you heard of him, he was he was beating the shit out of Invictus who crossed into a Carthian territory. In fact, you're pretty sure he killed at least one.
Damn.
Oh.
That's gonna look bad on the keeper's resume because,
Well then.
yeah, obviously she has no idea what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, what is this keeper doing letting her in here? Like, that's
Also
concerning.
pretty sure he'd kill you on sight if he could. At least if he could get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah, Natalia's gonna just for a couple of moments, just on her own, decide what to do. Take this up with the keeper or what? But it's gonna be a little bit.
Okay.
Chris, I'm gonna make my way over to the two individuals. Forgetting names. Your screen keeps flipping, but not the Asian guy, but the black guy and the chick.
Oh, this person and this person.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Be friendly. Be nice.
Good evening, Mr. Hovo.
Good evening. How are you two this evening?
Quite well, quite well. This person, you know her? Actually, I'm not sure if you know her. Actually, you can roll me wits, politics, but there's a significant dice penalty here. Actually, of -4 dice.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
There's
there's reasons for that. That is a mechanic.
That's a thing.
That's not even as bad
Question
as it
while you
can
brought
get.
that up. Is it based on the sketch that we got? Is she sort of kind of familiar?
She has the white hair.
Yeah. Anthony has
Is
good
it?
memory. Oh wait.
She kind of vaguely fits the description.
All right.
In the
I'll
sense
make my
that,
roll.
yeah, she's got white hair. She's got the she's got the sort of the general description Baneforth gave you, Joshua gave you, but it's like it's only sort of a like you could see it, but at the same time it's like
Oh shit! It's the traitor.
Yeah, it's like, is it the traitor or not? Did I find a traitor?
Hi, traitor.
I'll also like to gain a willpower for acting out my dirge of perfectionist.
Evening.
Sorry, I mean, I'm in the bathroom, and then I come back, and it's like, oh shit, the traitor.
I was just having a debate with a good speaker here.
Did you hear me before about the willpower?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I would like to gain a willpower for acting out my dirge of perfectionist.
Let me check that real quick.
Well done.
Revisit an already successful action to hammer out a flaw. So I guess basically to fulfill perfectionist, you would need to do something and either do it perfectly, or which would be an exceptional success on something, or or revisit an action you've already done in the scene and do it again, but do it better.
Okie dokie. Guess I'm going back to that piano. Goddamn. But I will roll for the politics. I will spend a point of willpower.
Okay.
Keeping track. So that's 3 extra dice. Lose 4, so that leaves me with 3 dice. Two successes.
Oh wow. You have. Oof. Okay. So this is what you have heard about this person down the Invictus grapevine. Surprisingly little.
Mhm.
The person is called she's called Gardenia. She's a sort of kind of grunt level Invictus administrator. She kind of does she does a lot of paperwork for certain other more prominent Invictus. She doesn't really get much out of it. It's kind of something she's obligated to do because the Invictus says you do this, so you do this. It's something she's been it's kind of her job basically. Like, you're good with finance, right? Okay, do this for me. You know, make a name for yourself. Maybe you'll get somewhere. So she does a lot of paperwork for the various kindred. The only noteworthy thing is she does work kind of cross house. She's Black Tomb, but she does a lot of work with Valerius and Eliza as well. She doesn't really have a lot of major power player friends, but she has business contacts with some of them.
And what was the other guy's name?
Oh, Jason Stanford. He is the leader, the elected leader of the Invictus, not the Invictus, the Carpians. Invictus don't elect people. That'd be silly.
Right. Jason Stanford, it's good to see you. And Gardenia, correct?
Just a little bit surprised.
You do work with we'll snap his fingers with
I work with Miss Gauntlet over there.
yeah. Black Tomb. Your reputation precedes you.
Really? I didn't know I had a reputation. I'm generally stuck behind a desk.
No. When you do good work, people tend to notice.
Bishop, I take it that I recognize this woman pretty much instantly, or has she changed enough that I don't?
Roll me. Yeah, roll me intelligence plus composure. I'm just gonna double check something because you might end up losing dice. I don't know.
Can I roll an intelligence composure since we saw the same picture?
If you're going off the picture that's been drawn, that's I'm just gonna say it's -4 dice because yeah.
Again? Fuck you, Bishop, man.
Because that is a picture like that's not a photo. Like that's not very helpful. Like it gives you the chance, but it's not very helpful.
Hold on. He got an exceptional success on drawing that. Is this woman or not, Bishop?
He's having to draw her from memory.
What roll was it?
The
He's
roll
having to
that
draw her from memory.
Yeah,
Like,
but
details
I'm
will
questioning.
be-
Can I make the roll as well?
Yes, you can.
And what was it?
I think we found them, guys. Like, yes. Let's make this damn roll. And I guess I am gonna have to be going back to the damn piano. God damn it.
But what roll was it?
Wits composure.
Oh, okay.
Something I'm good at.
And minus how many dice?
4 dice.
I'm still waiting for how many dice I'm minus.
-4 dice.
Oof.
Nope.
Is that a critical failure I doth see before me?
Nope. It is not a critical failure because it is not
Oh, so
a
that's-
chance die. I have 5 dice minus 4. That's 1.
Yeah. But you are right. So test die, not a crit failure.
Close. No cigar.
Yeah, you're forgetting to draw out how many successes you get. You only -4 with goddamn dice. Like, you have no point of reference for that photo, for that drawing. So
Progressive typing.
even an exceptional success will be diluted.
So, what conversation did I interrupt? Is it private?
Bishop, you never gave me what dice penalty I was suffering to recognize her. Because I did see her face.
Oh, you get because you actually saw her directly. You don't have a penalty. Everybody else does because they're having to work off of like an incredibly vague reference, even if it's exceptional.
I succeed barely.
Okay, yeah, you recognize her vaguely. Oh, we're just having a debate between the politics of the Carthians and the Invictus.
Fascinating.
That was about media and communication. The prime speaker here believes that the she air quotes meta narrative that that runs through the city works to the detriment to the princedom as opposed to its direct benefit. I would argue otherwise. I believe it is quite an effective tool.
Yeah.
When used correctly, of course, all things can be abused.
I suppose any tool worth its weight would have its drawbacks.
Oh, pardon?
Any tool worth its weight would have its drawbacks.
Yes, it appears there is, well, I believe we figured this out long ago, but there is no such thing as a perfect system, otherwise it would have been adopted many, many centuries ago.
Who are we kidding? It would have been claimed by the Invictus centuries ago.
Exactly.
They seem to have their fingers in so much.
I would assume you do outside.
He kind of taps his temple. I have a pretty good memory. It served me well. I'm able to
Well,
pick out a lot of obscure details.
the Invictus is a good teacher. You don't make it far here by being forgetful.
Hmm.
This is,
Uh,
after all, a city where information is hard to come by. She kind of smiles at the speaker in a sort of sardonic fashion. And the speaker looks rather sarcastically back. As in like, oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, fuck you.
well, when I make the mentions of like having a good memory, does she look uncomfortable or anything?
She's paying very close attention to everybody in the conversation.
I mean, I'm saying, does she look uncomfortable or is she just in rapt attention?
No, she looks pretty unflappable, really.
Okay.
She's very emotionally muted.
Mm. So, I hear, did you guys see the TV broadcast that happened a few nights ago? Interesting. Would the Carthians be making a donation?
As charitable as it is, I'd like to understand more about the good lady Spillane before I go spilling the Carthians' coffers.
Well, I suppose it's important not to be overzealous in who you support.
Unfortunately, our resources, unlike the Invictuses, are not unlimited, so we must be frugal at times. Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Frugality has its merits. I was just wondering if anyone else had any strong opinions about it.
I'm more concerned with our agenda is, to be honest.
My favorite friend. How are you?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
How's this night find
Hey
you?
there. I mean, it's alright. I mean, better. I mean, not really my scene, but it's alright. Some fucking crazy flowers.
Don't you like flowers? I find them interesting and very fragrant.
It's crone shit creeps me out, to be honest. But I mean, to each their own.
Well, each venue has to have its own call to glory, its own intrigue, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, what would you prefer? The club?
I mean, I'd absolutely prefer the club, but
Yeah.
more food, more integrity. What's not to like?
And
Neither here nor there, I guess.
his eyes will snap back to Jason.
So, Joshua, right? Should I call you Joshua or Baneforth? You're a respected gentleman of the city. I feel like I should refer to you by your appropriate term of address.
You are muted, Evan.
It seems like someone's calling for you across the foyer. Like a savage.
What?
Everybody? He's like, oh, he's Sebastian was just asking you whether your offer was still on the table, and then he was like, oh, should I call you Joshua Bainforth? You are, after all, a respected member of the city. Maybe I should refer to you by your preferred term of address. I assume Allside here prefers to be referenced as Mr. Herber.
Joshua's kind of leaning on his cane as he says, "The offer still stands, Sebastian."
He'll smile and say, "We're friends, of course, outside."
Wonderful. Fucking wonderful. So, Isabella, what you got on the table?
What are you looking for?
When are you going to be ready to go?
Me?
No, Sebastian.
I'm down virtually any time, but if you want to do it now, that's fine. I'm just gonna say right now, so everybody knows I didn't ask for nothing. But I didn't accept anything. Just saying. But and what does let's see, what's a good Carthian looking for? You know, liberty, equality, freedom, fresh blood supply, territory, information.
I always thought your political branch of the Carthian movement sought to eat the rich.
I mean,
That's quite a statement.
it is a statement. I mean, it's not untrue, but it's also more nuanced than that. It's a bit of a stereotype. I don't mean blunt. I'm going to say it right now. I think the Invictus are an absolute fucking plague on this city.
What a surprise.
And
Yeah,
I
I know,
like
what a
your
surprise,
sweat.
right?
I mean, man, I love your sweatshirt. It's so stylish.
Thank you. You've got a nice suit.
Thank
It'd be a shame for me
you.
to ruin it.
I mean, you could. I'd give you the dry cleaning.
It's a wonderful check that, I mean, considering my fucking affluence, will definitely bounce.
Hmm.
So really, it's all upside for me, but that's neither here nor there.
Very good. In that case, I tell you what. Joshua puts down his drink that he was sipping, and he says, "I have to make a phone call, and after that, we'll be ready to go."
Oh. Throwing down the big bids, huh?
He contemplates and he says, actually, hang on. I've been coming in a little bit choppily. Has he said he'll do it, or I'm currently bidding with him to do it?
He's currently you're currently basically bidding with him. Like he's basically said, "So Isabella, what are you counter offering?"
What? I don't even remember what this conversation was about.
It was about a worm's nest.
Oh.
You don't want the Lancair to claim a worm's nest ever. That is like probably outside of the coils. They're basically the most important thing to the Ordo.
Oh, god damn it. I totally forgot about this whole thing.
Oh dear.
GG, dear. GG.
When the guy in the hoodie is more on point than the doctor.
Whatever.
Oh dear, it's fine.
I'm embarrassed that I'm so embarrassed that he is a Deva. This actually embarrasses me.
Do I just need to get you a fucking egg timer or something? Like, is there a problem? You just
As I said, if you help me, my deal still stands. I will help your little. I will help your. He won't call them a little covenant. I will help your covenant find out who has been. They had problems with domain breaches. That was their big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, basically all that, and just helping with the blood supply in general.
Actually, Bishop, what happens is Joshua reaches into his pocket and he withdraws his cell phone. Can he step away to somewhere more private? like inside the building, away from the plants. I'm pretty sure the
Interior
plants can hear me.
You don't want plants near you. Ugh, creepy crone flowers.
But Bishop, he punches in the number for my boss, aka the Lord Crusader, who still has the best title ever.
All right. One second.
If this title does not match how badass I hope this guy is, I'll be sad. If this picture doesn't match how badass his title is, I'll be sad.
I mean, I got two, and I'm tempted to use the funny one.
Oh,
It's fine. We'll use the cool one.
yeah.
Okay, so you give him a phone call.
Yep, I give him a phone call.
Okay. Shepard speaking.
Yeah, who the fuck are we kidding? That is the cool one. I kind of want to see the funny one after this. But Joshua will say, "Sir, I have an interesting piece of information for you."
Proceed.
I informed Inquisitor, or whatever the name of the Inquisitor is, I can't remember her name, the High Inquisitor. X name about this the other evening. She may have already communicated it to you. In a divine revelation I was granted, it became abundantly clear that there was a place in this city that was wrong, in some way possessed of an possibly infernal nature, that it was determined should be cleansed. I have the interested party who is willing to lead us to this place, currently dangling on the hook. Ultimately, I believe it is our divine duty to make sure that this place is dealt with so that it cannot corrupt any more spirits and or allow the dead to rest in peace. If it is not infernal, it is still obliged upon God. So I wish your orders as it pertains to this matter.
Acquire the information. I'm not particularly picky as to how.
It may mean that certain promises will need to be made.
Define promises.
He's a Carthian. He wants payment. More than likely, I may be able to satiate him with a little bit of flim-flam, but I may have to offer things like, I don't know. What does the Covenant have in abundance? We've got pretty good feeding grounds, and we have the ability to get a lot of blood. And we have the ability to bottle blood, because that is a miracle. It's a really low-level miracle we can do. So in theory, we could offer them some blood.
Oh, which one is that? Which is that one, actually?
It's preserve the host, or they preserve the Eucharist, or something like that.
A second.
It's in one of the books. I can't. I think it might be in the core rulebook, actually.
Yeah, it's called Vitae Reliquary. You infuse an objective up to the ritual's potency in Vitae.
Yeah, so in theory, we could just literally throw them some blood. Also, because we have flocks, we can get quite large herds.
Hmm. The main issues are their concern. You can help them find out who, just don't get dragged into it yourself. We're not here to fight other people's wars.
As you
As
like.
for the feeding issues, if they're asking for turf, that's something will have to be taken up with the Archbishop. If they're just asking for blood, we can supply blood for up to about half a dozen of them. Don't go any higher than that. Don't be giving them ideas.
Understood, sir.
Good. Call me back when you have the info.
The phone clicks. Joshua will walk back outside. Where is this hoodie-wearing bastard?
He's
Just
standing right in front of you, looking shady
Yeah.
and hoodie.
just a quick thing. We also have Christine doing a thing, but
Okay, yeah, we will on Christine's thing real quick.
Yep.
So
Just-
Christine also gives Isabella time to figure out her own little bidding plan. You can call your boss if you like, Isabella.
I don't even know who my boss is.
Your boss is Iko Gaon, Katona Makai.
Yeah. When you're done with hers.
All right, Jasmine, you've two talked.
Yes. I don't know. My plan is failing. Is there anyone there that I have actually met in person other than Natalia? Because I don't know, I think she went to speak with the keeper, or what did she do?
Wait, I blacked out.
Peter?
yes,
Were you going to speak to the keeper or
yeah. I was going to speak to the keeper, but we'll just take yours first because you've been waiting
Okay,
for a
yours
bit.
first.
So.
Okay, so I have to rely on someone else then. Oof. Hmm. Bishop, is there anyone that I would have met that I could try and use to gather information without going directly to the target, quote unquote?
Mm, how do you intend to go about doing that? Like, persuade someone? Like, just send someone over there and kind of listen to them rattle off?
Well, I was planning on having Natalia approach me and I would be like, OMG,
Oh,
look
that
at the
didn't
dude,
happen.
he's so hot. Do you know who he is? But yeah, that went out the window. So I'm at a strange spot and I have to do something without using disciplines.
You can use
Um,
disciplines.
I mean, I can use aspects, I suppose.
You can use disciplines. It'll just be just don't get caught.
You can't get caught for aspects, can you?
Depends on the situation.
Mm. Oh, I don't know if it would help me. Okay, anyway, I think I will roll it anyway. I'm gonna focus on this guy and I'm gonna um hmm. I'm not sure how to use this because the first point of aspects is only for danger or weakness. So, well, let's try it and see what we come up with. Anyway,
Okay, I'm
so
gonna have you
it's
roll wits politics real quick.
uh, okay, that's just one die. So no.
Go ahead.
So I just want to get a feel of this guy, if I can get any, vibes, let's say.
These
For lack of a
records
better-
only relate to immediate danger, so tell me what sort of questions you would want to ask, and I can tell you if level 1 Auspex would be able to answer those questions.
Is this guy suspect of something? For example, something like this. Like, obviously, he's a person of interest to someone, and I have to determine what information they need from me about that guy. So maybe try to confirm that he's actually of importance. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I don't really understand what you want to ask. You haven't, like, is he suspect would be such a vague question. I wouldn't really be able to
that's
answer you an answer to that.
Okay, how about who is he associated with?
Oh, that's simple. He's actually talking with this lady.
Yeah, that lady, that other lady that I don't know.
Mhm.
Mm. This is hard. Would I be able to determine if he's feeling nervous or guilty or something like that?
You could determine his mood through Auspex 1. You could say who he is the most afraid, or like. But I would, like, you can't really hone it in on a single person.
Yeah. If I ask what his current fear or concern, something like that.
Auspex 1 can't really help you here, to be honest. It doesn't target down a single person. That's what Auspex 2 does, and Auspex 2 is also more broad in this line of questioning.
Mm. So I can pretty much only get a feel of his mood.
Yeah, you could ask if he was afraid or angry, or if he's close to frenzy, stuff like that.
Okay, let's roll it then. Fuck my life. With empathy and aspects, right? Wow.
Oh, the discipline fails to activate.
Wow.
Your beast just
Are people
refuses
doing
to.
disciplines in Elysium?
I mean,
Yes.
they just fail to do anything at all. So it just kind of. The beast is like, nope. Find someone else.
Great.
It is noteworthy. Something is pushing your beast down here. In this Elysium, something is keeping your beast down.
Oh, fuck my life.
What is Jasmine doing in the meantime?
Contemplating her life choices. Mhm. Well, I guess she will try to. I'm gonna regret this again. Eavesdrop, but on those two over there, see if she can pick up anything, but from a distance.
Okay, how far away are you standing? If you get in close, you'll get bonus dice to overhear their conversation, but they'll have a chance to spot you and you'll have to roll stealth.
I'll
If-
be
if you
close
decide to-
enough to get the bonus.
Okay. I'll give you +2 dice, but you will have to also roll
Okay.
with stealth
That's-
to just remain inconspicuous.
And it's with composure to eavesdrop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna roll the stealth first. The specialty adds a die, correct?
With composure, you don't have any specialties for attributes.
No, for the stealth.
For the stealth. Yes. Yeah, that would apply here.
So I'm gonna roll the stealth first. Okay.
Okay.
And that was +2, you said?
You get +2 dice to your wits composure roll.
Okay. Wow. Apparently I'm deaf.
All right.
Great. Awesome.
You're not able to pick up anything meaningful. They're seemingly speaking about rather casual things, but it's very, very business-like how they go about it. It's kind of like they're speaking in kind of like, it's kind of like code. There's a lot of inflections and implications and double meanings in what they're saying.
Oof. Well, that's disappointing. That's very disappointing. Oh.
Both of them are get up and begin walking towards the exit. They begin walking towards the lift. They both pass by the keeper and bow to her and wish her a pleasant evening. Mirth bows to them both, but thanks this woman, thanks Cynthia. Thanks Cynthia again for the services she provides. She doesn't actually call her Cynthia. She calls her Lady Gauntlet, and thanks her for the services she's providing for this evening.
Tail.
Gonna tail? Okay.
Tail, yes.
They're gonna enter a lift.
Yeah, I think I'll enter too and just pretend to be playing on my phone. Not paying attention to them.
All right. They're silent as the lift goes down. There's also 2 guards in the lift. It's a long, long ride down. It's about a minute.
I'll start humming and take out a pair of earbuds from my pocket and put them in my ears and plug the phone in.
This woman is glaring at you.
So we'll remove the earbuds and put the phone in her pocket. Forgive me, I didn't mean to offend.
She ceases her glare but says nothing. And just looks away from you. Simply puts her hands behind her back. Eventually, you reach the bottom. The guards exit, stand by the side of the lift. You begin walking out with them, presumably. And this lady will simply say, Mr. Way, it was a pleasure having this discussion with you. I hope to see you later on in perhaps a more suitable setting. He says, "Of course, Lady Gauntlet, I shall see you soon." He bows, and they both begin to walk away from each other. Mr. Way begins to be heading towards a nondescript vehicle. Looks like a fairly average, run-of-the-mill four-door, like Ford Fiesta-esque vehicle. Meanwhile, Cynthia Gauntlet is escorted by several of these same guards that have been like kind of just stationed around the Elysium to what appears to be an armored SUV.
I will quickly go to my car and try to follow the guy, if possible.
Okay, this is
Keep
going to
in
require
mind,
another.
I have a Prius.
Okay. So you want to tail him with drive?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, make me a wits drive roll. As you get into your car and you begin to tell him. He will attempt to match you with wits composure.
Okay, 2 successes.
Okay. Okay, so he begins driving quite a distance. For about, let's see, where are you? Okay, for one thing, driving in London is an absolute fucking nightmare.
Oh, yes, I know.
It's slow, it's stop-start, it's clunky, takes fucking hours to get, like, just through one block to the next. But after a couple of hours, once you get past the worst of the traffic, you end up traveling through VA 1261. And through the Limo Peninsula, he seems to be heading towards the Royal Docks.
I will keep following for now. I would also like to make a note of his license plate numbers.
Yep, you can do that, that's just fine. Eventually he reaches the Royal Docks Management Authority. He finds a place to park his car.
I'm gonna park at a distance.
Alright. From there, he begins heading to what appears to be a gated off area. And heads inside a small 2-story building.
Are there any signs on the building saying what it is or anything like that?
No, but it appears to be quite close to the appears to be quite close to the pumping station.
All right. Are there other people there, or is it quiet?
The gated off area does have a single security guard.
All right. I would like to observe the routes of the security guard, and when I have an opening, I want to go to this person's car and plant a GPS device on the bottom.
Pardon?
A GPS tracker on the bottom of his car. I want to plant.
Where the hell do you get a Jeep? Those are horribly illegal.
Well, I have a background in certain things.
Oh, just looking it up on the equivalent list. Yeah. Yeah, you're able to plant a device on the vehicle, just no problem. Just make me a quick stealth roll.
Yes. I don't think the whatchamacallit, fuck, the specialty would apply in the situation, right?
No.
So that's with stealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Dex stuff in this,
Oh,
in this
dex stealth.
situation.
Okay. Okay, let me redo that then. Da, 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 da. Mhm. One success.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you successfully plant the device. No one seems to interfere with you.
Then I'm going to make an observation check to see if I pick up anything else that might be of interest, and after that, I'm going to bail.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 successes on perception or whatever you call this.
Okay, you notice CCTV cameras were planted to that vehicle, and you were probably spotted putting a device on it.
Great. All right. Fuck. Would I be able to hack into the feed and erase the footage?
It's closed circuit, so you'll need to. You'll basically need to go to the place where they actually have the footage and probably just delete it manually.
Oh, great.
It is not an online feed. You can't basically hack into it wirelessly.
Mhm. Is that security place in the building or somewhere outside?
Yeah, it's past the gates. It's basically there's a wrought iron fence and a and a series of those barriers that open for vehicles. There's a security guard in there. He doesn't appear to have noticed you at all.
And this is, kids, where you first roll perception and then you do your thing. I'll remove the device and then I'll bail.
Yeah, funnily enough, the guy you were tailing did not go through the main entrance with his vehicle. He went for a side entrance where there was basically a door that he manually unlocked. It's like a door that goes through the fence.
Mhm.
Or is part of a fence.
Oh, well, yeah. Question. Does the camera pick up everything when it comes to vampires, or it gets statics and shit like that? I know that recording devices are a bit problematic. I don't know about cameras.
Recording devices are very strange when they interact with kindred, you are correct. They don't... One second, actually, let me find it. Because there's a whole section on it.
So, what's happening?
There's some interesting ambience. Waiting for Bishop to check on the camera thing.
Wait, you're a maquette. Don't you just have obfuscate?
Oh, sorry.
I have one dot in obfuscate. It's not enough.
I was away. Then my mic stopped working and I didn't realize it. Basically, you are correct in that the way kindred don't interact correctly with technology when they're recorded in this setting. They blur and become staticky. It becomes very it doesn't necessarily hide your identity, but it does make you harder to discern, and it identifies kindred to people who look at those cameras because they're well, obviously that's a kindred because they're coming up all wrong.
So pretty much, I have to take care of that.
Yeah, it probably didn't get a good enough look at you to identify you, immediately, just because it won't come out quite right, but at the same time, if they review that footage, they're going to know it was a kindred who was messing around with that vehicle.
Well,
I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt, but I do have to get going. I do have some more questions for Chris, but I can do it in blue booking.
Yes.
Talk to you
Sorry
guys
for this
later.
taking so long. See you
No,
later.
it's okay.
Well, yeah.
All
I
right,
also
talk to you
don't
guys
want
later.
to
Bye.
Bye.
I also don't want to take too much time because fuck my life.
It's funny. The exact same thing happened to you in your first Odessa scene.
Can I, you
It
can
wasn't
think
my
about this
first.
because you only have like one thing left to decide. We're gonna switch back to Sebastian.
Well, could we continue this separately tomorrow maybe? So again,
Well, basically, you gotta choose whether to break into the office or bail.
well, I think that as a fledgling mistake, I'll choose to bail, but I'll take back the GPS device because, yeah, I'll just try to find information through the license plate, but we'll do that through blue booking. And yeah, that will be me for tonight, guys.
Actually, really important question that you should. I'm going to be helpful here. Whose domain is she currently in, Bishop?
Oh, she's
Which
absolutely she's in Invictus territory.
Oh, dearie my.
Hard Invictus territory.
Oh, dearie my.
This more or less pretty much for the next several kilometers at least you are in Invictus territory.
Do I know that? I don't
Oh,
think.
absolutely, yeah. This is
I would know that.
This is like
Oh, okay. In that case, yeah, I suggest we continue this tomorrow because I will need to break in there and fuck my life. How the fuck am I gonna do this?
okay. All right.
Okay, that would be, I think, my most short-lived character ever in history. So yeah, I'm gonna leave and you guys can continue. But yeah,
Whatever the case, we salute you. Don't worry.
I mean, you do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Sebastian is still waiting.
Good night, guys.
Sleep well.
So Isabella, do you want to phone up your boss?
Yes.
All right.
So assumingly when Joshua goes off to call his, I'm gonna say, tell him, don't go anywhere yet, and go off and try to call him.
Oh, Miss Moreau, what is it that you need at this time in the evening?
So, interesting development. I've got a Carthian who potentially knows about a worm's nest.
There's a brief pause. Who is this individual?
He calls himself Sebastian. Might be able to bargain with him for information, but I'm not sure what we're willing to offer. There's also a Langwin is about to buy the information from him if we don't.
Okay, to the Covenant as a whole be willing to do him a favor if he gives up the information to us and only us.
All right. Other interesting. Have you heard about the remnants that were found in the underground?
It's a shame we weren't able to bring one back for research, but alas.
Well, as it stands, I believe I was assured, or I was told, that once the investigation is through, they'll be looking for somebody to vouch for them and bring them in. I don't believe it would be particularly difficult to claim one.
We are not looking to uplift revenants. We are looking to understand their nature and what separates them from us.
However we spin it, If we get one, we get one.
See, we inquire of the Archons, see what we can learn about their investigation, see how you can assist them.
All right. I'll let you know what we find out.
Excellent. Have a lovely evening, my dear. Please
as
tell
well.
me how it goes.
Oh, well.
Click.
All right, I'll go back.
Natalia, for her part, had just been looking at the tickets that someone just planted on her, which has problems with. But she just, for at a moment, she just look at them. She seems to be contemplating something, but she just puts them down and just shakes her head. She is going to go over to the keeper and say, who the hell that Invictus, and she'll be polite this once and just say this troublemaker of the Invictus is, and why, or of the Carthian, whoever that person who she is very sure is bad news, why he was allowed in here.
Oh, the new blood missed away. What about him?
Well, he's been an affront to my, as far as I'm quite certain he's been an affront to my covenant, and massively so. I'm a little. I'll just also remember the fucking. I'm quite miffed as to why he's allowed here, given that he's been, violent and stuff. You say new blood, like how new is he?
No newer than most of you. But I see, that is troubling indeed. Perhaps I'll have to reevaluate his invitations to Elysium in the future.
Holy shit, that is Sansa Stark. Sorry, that was what was going through my head this entire time. Continue.
Thank you for this information. I shall pass it along.
I mean, I'm quite sure, but I mean, yeah, I was just wondering, but yeah, thanks. And I will, I'll see you, I'll see you around. Thanks for the invite and all that. I, really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Miss Belenko.
There's a wry smile as she will excuse herself, and she will probably leave somewhat shortly after that.
We retreat back to Isabella and Joshua, Sebastian standing in the middle as they walk back and reconvene.
You already have my opening offer, Sebastian.
The Order would be willing to offer you a favor for this information.
interesting. He looks a bit surprised by the scale of your words, Fair Isabella. Well, I know your offer is, and all right.
It's not my game to waste time going back and forth. It's information we need.
All right. He thinks for a moment. Can both of you roll presence persuasion? And
I have none of those things.
Oh, God.
Oh, I still have to make my upping offer. So because I started with my base offer. So do you mind if I up the proverbial ante?
Yeah.
Go ahead, no persuasion.
Joshua kind of taps his lower lip as he appears to be contemplating for a moment, and he says, I'll give you what I promised. Also, I'm led to understand that members of your covenant are not exactly, well, being well fed recently. That's the case, isn't it, Sebastian?
Yeah, what of it?
My covenant are willing to provide blood to satiate half a dozen of your closest friends. You yourself included, if you wish.
All right.
Not only that, he leans in, and he is definitely going to whisper this to our friend here. And he says, in a low, actually, he won't drag him away, but he'll take him a couple of steps away, and he'll say, I want you to think about something. You're a smart man. I know you are. I find the people who hold the flags and who understand what they're fighting for are often the smartest of people because they see injustices that other people miss. The Ordo, why is it that they're the smallest covenant in terms of numbers, and yet they have the second richest feeding grounds after the Invictus? Not only that, but if there were to be a conflict, I'm not saying that a conflict will come. I'm not saying that it ever is on the cards to come. I'm saying that if one were to begin, surely you would agree with me that as the third largest covenant, you would much rather have the Lucia Sanctum as your friends. We remember good turns. He smiles. Smile. Yeah, and I'll roll when I get back. Smile.
So you're both getting different dice bonuses.
We're doing presence.
Presence persuasion.
Okay.
Isabella, because of the scale of your favor, it's +5.
Oh shit.
For Joshua, it's +2.
I'm also gonna use a willpower because why the fuck not?
So am I.
Also, keep in mind you lose 1 dice because you're unskilled in persuasion if you don't have persuasion.
I do have it. I totally forgot I put a dot in it, but I definitely did.
Okay, you may have just saved your ass there.
Yup. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 successes.
Okay. I would like to note that certain
Nope.
nope, ooh, unfortunate. In which case Sebastian does go. I appreciate the offer, Josh, and I really do. And I won't forget it. But it's kinda hard to turn down like a favor from like an entire covenant, not gonna lie.
I understand. He puts a hand on his shoulder and he says, you do what you must do.
In any case, I'm open to dealing with you in the future, which is kind of a step up from what we started, I guess. Don't really wheeling deals not my thing. Kind of surprised it's got like so much curiosity, to be honest. I'm a bit taken aback, not in a bad way, but you know.
Absolutely. Joshua smiles very, very sweetly before he'll turn to Izzy and he'll say, "In that case, I'll leave you to hear your information. I know when I'm beaten."
No hard feelings. You have your convictions, I have mine.
None at all. As he leaves, he will simply take out his phone. He will text an odd word. It's probably a code word. It basically means we're going to have to black bag him. And I will happily play in that scene where we black bag him. Are you kidding me? Joshua doesn't lose. Not only that, Christ is on the line here. He is informing his fellow crusader. You know what the phrase he sends to his boss is? He's going to send Deus Volt.
Oh, god damn it. Dude.
Yep. And we're gonna black bag us again.
Oh my god. Or counterpoint, just ask me later.
Just gonna add one thing. This is why we can't have nice things.
I mean, either that or this is why you need to be on the ball to keep your nice things.
Ironically.
Well, right. Okay. I'm just, yeah.
I mean, when you're playing a religious fanatic, they basically have two choices. It's a matter
that is true. That is true. Anyways, the scene is still going, so...
So real quick, interesting counterpoint. I'm going to text Joshua at some point and just say later. Take that as you will.
Excellent. We might need to black back in. But know that was, to be fair, I've been reading up about the Crusaders. They are legitimate religious nutjobs who do crazy things in the name of God. But yeah, I am excited.
And I think with that, does anybody have anything else they'd like to do? Anybody else they'd like to talk to?
No, the only thing I have to say is you have to send me that little dossier from Friendo McGee.
Mm-hmm. Then I think with that we can end the scene there. It was 3 hours and 2 minutes long, so yep. Thank you guys for playing. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time. Goodbye.